Give me your knowledge about Quran. Give me your knowledge and understanding about Islam. And that's what the gathering, I think, is supposed to be for. And that's what, if you're a sister that understands that, that's where you're going to gather people and say, come on. I have a doctor that went with me. She says she has this emotional breakdown when she first got there. You know, she's rich. She has this home in Sugarland, in the Plantation Hill. But when she got there, trust me, that is what Allah said. That's the command of Allah. You cannot rent an hotel in Mina. There's nothing like that. I know you all have the money, but this is where Allah said we should be. She has that shutdown. But trust me, I get up. I say, no, this is where Allah said. Look at this bed. It's like the size of your last day. That is where you're going to be. That's the size of the grave. So let us learn to deal with it and start thanking Allah that at least when you die, you're not going to witness where they're going to, how big it's going to be. But now you're witnessing it. Let's learn to live with it. So we all come together, you know, as sisters, we start praying together. We call some of ourselves, we lead our prayer. Because for 3 days or 4 days, you got to have to deal with each other. When they say when you're going to Mina, don't big luggages. It's the truth. When you guys are having HAJJ next year for HAJJ, when you want to do some education, I'll come here. When they say do not take a lot of luggages to Mina, please do not take it. There is no space. You are going to be stepping. You are going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt, and you don't really have time to put on all those stuff because it's hot. Sometimes when the brothers wants to come into the sisters' room to pray, they're going to announce that brother is coming in. So you have to kind of cover yourself. You know, we all just get used to each other. You know, because it's hot. You want something, you know, not too hard to put on. So when they say, brother, you just have to cover yourself. Your brother is coming in, blah, blah, blah. Alhamdulillah. We all did everything at Mina. Even going to the bathroom. Oh, my God. These people they're living a lot of stuff. When you go into the bathroom, the restroom in Mina, sisters and brothers, tolerance. Tolerance is what we need because that is a different place entirely. But you know what? You can't hold it. You got to go. So you got to either get something to clean that area yourself so you will be able to use it. And the queue will be so long. Yeah, the queue will be too long and you want to use it. But alhamdulillah, that is what God wants from us. And when you are trying to do your wudu, you have these different people that make that place like a home. They'll be washing their clothes and they will dry it on the wall. And you are trying to make what? Wudu. Sabru. Yeah, so, brother is patient, sister is patient to go to HAJJ. If you can't have patience, please try to have it, try to develop it, because you don't want something little to nullify all this HAJJ program that you are doing. In Mina, it's different, but you got to learn to deal with it, suck it in, and say, you're doing it for Allah. It's a call. God knows you can rent an hotel, a big one. If you want, you can say the whole tent should be for one person. Allah said, no. I made you who you are. I make you a millionaire because of these poor people. The money I'm giving to you is not for you. It's for others to benefit from you. When you're going on the street, they will start sharing, giving you water in the car. You just walk by on the street, they will give you something. They give a lot of sadaqah. People will just bring food, snacks from nowhere and just pass it around to people. So in Mina, it's different. It's very different. But when you are in Mina, you say, oh, I don't like Mina. Wait till you get to Musdalifah. Yeah, to Musdalifah. Yeah. So when you move to Musdalifah, it's on a rock. But alhamdulillah, you see how people are so happy to sleep on a rock. And then people will still be fighting for a place to put in whatever little mat or something they want to lay themselves on. And then the restroom too is really the same thing. You understand? And then the thing that strikes me most, when you are in an open place, and I was like, oh, what are we gonna like? You want to need a mosquito? What do you call it? Repellent to flee? There was no single mosquito. No, there's no single fly. Even in Mina, with all this dirty pack, food in the trash, there's no fly. There's no mosquito. There's nothing, no insects. And that is why they say when you are going for Hajj, even ordinary insect, don't kill it. Because God knows there won't be anybody. If there happen to be one, that means God sent that one there for a purpose, to test your tolerance. You understand? So, all those ones, yeah? All right. Okay. So, Miss Alifa is good. So, she said, let's move to the next.
Okay.
The truth needs to be told.
Absolutely. We just have to be mindful of their time too. We appreciate them even coming to listen to us. So we're going to move back to Brother John. We are moving from Miss Dollifer back to Mina. We have gathered our pebbles because first time Sister Heath told me I had big rocks or something. I had to go get little pebbles for stoning. So Brother John's going to pick up where we're back in Mina now, and we're going to go stone the Jamrock for the first time, and also when we move back into Mecca for our actual Hajj rites again. While you guys were here having Eid, this will be
Assalamu alaikum. In every prayer, you will see janazah, the service janazah. And when I was in Mina, I was very sick. And Suleiman, the imam, he said, "Brother, you can't be no victim here." I said, "Man, what are you talking about?" He said, "You know what I'm talking about." And I said, I know what it said on Hajj. You down Hajj, you get paradise. I said, but I'm not ready. I said, everybody want to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And I'm that person, you see. And but the most significant thing to me I'm gonna go back to Mecca. Go back to Mecca, okay? When you see the Kaaba, you see the kiswa wrapped around the Kaaba, right? The dress, you see. And I want to know, what was the meaning of that, because you have all these people, and they intertwine with the social, the spiritual, and the material. The Kaaba being the material, right? So I want to understand more about my religion and why I was there, you see, instead of being emotional. Because I didn't get emotional, about the Kaaba until I was sitting in my room and I looked up and seen the Kaaba because they got big screens, TV screens in the rooms, and I just broke down. I started crying. Then I was so grateful that Allah had invited me, to His house. But Mina, like Sister was saying, is quite an experience. I mean, very, very, very tiring experience. I mean, it's something that you never forget. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to go back to the story she told about the janazah. In Mina, I slept next to this sister. She was from Atlanta, and we had earlier passed by one of the carts the day before that had the deceased people on the cart. And she said that her sister had made Hajj 2 years previous to our Hajj, and she had completed her whole Hajj. They were on the bus back to the airport, and she started having chest pains, and she died on the bus. She said they turned the bus around, took it back to the Great Mosque in Mecca. They were like almost to Medina, and they took control of her remains, and they told the family that they can get in touch with them. They had control of the body now, and that they were going to take care of all of her funeral services, her burial services, and everything. And if anybody in the family wanted to come from the United States, that they're welcome to come, but they're going to take care of everything. So that's how it's done there. If you die there, you have no more control over yourself, or does your family have any rights over you? They take control, that's it, and they bury you there. And that's the blessing, too, of being able to be buried in Medina, Mecca.
When we were riding from Mecca to Medina, and we were on this nice air-conditioned bus, and we had plenty of leg room. It was comfortable, very, very nice. And I'm looking at the distance, and I'm thinking, we're talking about it's a long ride, and we're ready to get there. And then you think about the Prophet and the Sahaba going from Mecca to Medina at a time when they were being prosecuted. Okay, and if you look off where they're always building something, everything is solid rock there. Like now, if you ride down 288, we're doing some construction, and all the little tractors and stuff or whatever are there, and these mounds of dirt. They don't have mounds of dirt. It's solid rock. You see like boulders on the side of the road. When the fine hotels in Mecca right next door, right immediately next to it, like this far away, it's a big old part of a mountain that they haven't gotten rid of yet. You know, so we just have to be patient and be grateful and be thankful and move on from that part. Okay, I want to talk about the stoning of the Jamarat. It's really no way. I used to wonder why somebody asked the question we were having our classes, asked Imam Suleiman, what do I need to do to prepare? And how far do we have to walk? And he said, like, a long way. He just left it at that. So, so I'm going to tell you right up front, going to stone the Jamarat is a 2.5-mile walk one way. Now, there are parts now that are kind of tunnel-like, so you get a little cover from the shade for a while. Some of them actually have moving walkways, so which is good because we had one brother that got really sick, and so we needed that, and some of us voted in support of him, some of the way, and then it's back. But the thing is, and even on tawafs and stuff, the challenge is not just the distance, even if you try to prepare for the distance, but you have to go so slow. You have to force yourself to stay in pace with everybody else. And so that itself was a challenge for me. Because I'm like, okay, I'm slow, right? And there are a lot of senior citizens out there with Imam Suleiman. When he turned around, we were like right behind him. We were on it. The brothers even said, the sisters were on it, so we're going to keep up with the sisters, not going to let the sisters, but that kind of stuff. But it's very moderated in pace. And you have to stay in your place because that's where it is for the moment. So also, we saw groups of maybe up to 100 people, like Malaysia or wherever they were from, and they all had that, like this saved us. Okay, when we got lost, we looked for this because we had this, okay, and we could find each other. So, yeah. I'm going to put on my head. So that happened. So when you talk about being lost, I could think, But they have, sometimes the brothers would have matching shirts, and it was a beautiful sight from all around the country, all around the world, actually. Also at that time, on that same day, was the animal sacrifice. Of course, we were nowhere near that, but the animal sacrifice takes place that day. Also, then, that's the same day you go back to Mecca. Okay, you go back to Mecca for your Hajj rites that day, and so that's when we do tawafs again. Okay, and that's when we do your sa'i again. Everything happens after that, though. It's supposed to be HAJJ and HAJJ after that. Now they give out no coins and say that your Hajj is accepted. Here's your card. Here's your certificate. None of that happens. So you're always asking Allah that He accept what you brought and what you did, because you did it especially for Him. Then we had to go back to Tent City. I want to say one thing about Tent City. One morning I woke up, and I was getting sick too, because the hygiene is not what we have here. So I got up one morning. I didn't get up. I was sleeping. I had all these voices so loud. I woke up, and I looked around. There's all these women. I'm like, what am I doing here without all these people? I was just disoriented, right? And then after a while, I could start putting names to the people. But that's Brenda. And that's Khadijah, and that's so-and-so and so. But I was really sick that day. I couldn't do my stoning. So one of the sisters did my stoning for me, and that was really a big blessing for me. And when we got to doing our rites, one of the sisters locked arms with me, and she held on to me so that I could complete my rites. So we were really a family, and it made a big difference. The next 2 days, we went back to the city and for stoning the last 2 times. Then we went back to Mecca to our hotel for our farewell tour. So I'm going to talk about